Hi there, Mark Jeffrey here from Big Point Player Training, and it's Grand Slam time now, and they always talk about pressure. The media, the TV, the analysts, pressure, and in their mind pressure is always bad. Well, this one is about how pressure is always amazing. So it really doesn't matter whether you're an elite walking onto the centre court and the crowd are rising and it's towards the end of the match and you close out and you sink to your knees and you raise your hands to the God and the crowd are going amazing, or whether it's just you and your mate in a court in the middle of nowhere and the only thing that's on the match is pride. So the first thing to say really is that you hear the commentators talk about rising to the occasion. Well, it's not about rising to the occasion, it is falling to the level of your training. And if you have no training, you have nothing to work off. And then consider that there's no really such thing as pressure. It's just a conversation that you have with yourself. It's the meaning that you put to those thoughts and feelings. So the conversation could either be pressure's great, it's your best friend, it's the cavalry coming to you in your hour of need, giving you everything you need to perform and fight at your best, or the conversation is about woe is me and pressure is bad and I'm overwhelmed and we know what's going to happen and oh woe is me. So you just need to choose, because the brain loves a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you might as well have a lovely prophecy that the brain will fulfill too. Let's give you a few examples. I interviewed a good friend of mine called Alan Gow a few years back, and he was the most senior non-commissioned officer in the British Army, Sergeant Major, and head of selection, head of training for what they call the regiment, the SAS, and he did that for 3 years. And he's seen a lot of action himself. So I interviewed Alan about pressure, because clearly at critical moments, under pressure, live or die, no action replay, they know a thing or two about pressure compared to our win or lose many action replays. You know, it's pathetic when you think about it. And his take about pressure was that it's amazing because it does. It gives you all the oxygen you need to the brain, and the brain needs it more than the muscles. Oxygen to your muscles for energy. Fantastic eyesight, acuity, pattern recognition. So he was saying that when he goes into battle and he's carrying whatever they're carrying, you know, they can leg it for 100 meters, 200 meters and feel no tiredness. And the strange thing is that in the heat and the noise and the chaos of battle, when you're under pressure, you have the ability to detect what sound, what sight, what movement is important to you and act upon it. So if you think of that in battle and bring that into the tennis court, you know, it's an amazing thing to do, to rise to the occasion, but only because you have a lot of training. As Nadal say, when you play under pressure every single day and you develop your rituals of process and self, you get to know what's 100% important. So a few things to train as a tip about pressure, because the whole thing is about how to go from conscious controlling mechanical 50 bits per second to trusting your instincts and 14 million bits per second. So you have to trust various things in order to slip from there into there. So you need to trust that the tactics are right, and here's how you're going to win the point. You need to trust that you train the exact sequence of shots to execute those tactics. You need to do it under simulated pressure, so you know that pressure is your friend. It doesn't just descend upon you at the most critical moments as a stranger. And all that time you're training yourself in belief and composure and certainty and grit and resilience. So that's that. So also when you look at Grand Slams, just listen out for the semi-finals and finals when the commentators are talking about this Greek godlike creature called the big point player that only comes out on rarefied occasions. And then in the same thing, listen that no one ever says, and here is how you can be a big point player. So if all this resonates with you, just subscribe to the channel. We give you 2 videos a week that might be your own personal get out of pressure prison, and comment and share, but clearly don't share with those ones that you're desperately trying to beat.